3 weeks from today will be the morning after the night of Election Day, and in 20 days, you will decide the direction of this great country of ours. Tonight, we are in York, Pennsylvania. Hello, York. How are you? Wow. We will be joined by Senator Tim Scott, Senator Tom Cotton, gubernatorial candidate for the state of Pennsylvania, Doug Mastriano, and former Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich, and U.S. Senate candidate Dr. Mehmet Oz, who is now neck and neck against his radical socialist opponent. I have a lot to say about this guy. The trust fund brat in a hoodie, because that's what he is, John Fetterman. I love it. It's like the Broad Street Bullies all over again. I love this. This guy is not fit to serve the great people in this Commonwealth of Pennsylvania for a variety of reasons. First of all, John Fetterman has never had a real job in his life. He's a giant fraud. Every day, take a look at him. He dresses up like he's an industrious blue-collar worker, but for him, it is a costume. He's playing. It's make-believe. Every day is Halloween for John Fetterman. He is a trust fund brat, never had a job most of his life. He never worked. Instead, he lived off his very wealthy mommy and daddy, and they continued to fund his lifestyle till he was almost 50, including his first job, a part-time gig as the mayor of a small town in Pennsylvania called Braddock. Now, his sister even chipped in, selling Fetterman his home for $1. I wish I got that deal. Anyway, so Fetterman was an abject failure by every measure. And during his time in office, violent crime in that small town went up dramatically. The town's population went down 21%. The median income went down to less than $15,000. And Fetterman was best known for not showing up at any council meetings because he missed most of them. Now, he also gained notoriety after a CCTV footage captured him vandalizing a local African-American-owned business. He did this in the middle of the night. And even worse, in another bizarre incident, Fetterman literally chased down an innocent, unarmed African-American jogger and held a shotgun to his chest and kept him captive after, by the way, mistaking fireworks for, quote, a shooting, he said. Even he, on camera, admitted he probably broke the law. Now, naturally, the privileged mayor of Braddock was able to escape any charges and has never apologized. To this day, he's defending these horrific actions. By the way, for 1 second, imagine if a Republican did this. Now, Fetterman's tough guy, champion of the people act, and it is an act, is a great farce. He's not looking out for the people of Pennsylvania. He only cares about propping up his own twisted, thwarted ego. And that's even more obvious following Fetterman's recent stroke. And by the way, in all honesty, we wish him a full recovery. I wouldn't wish that on anybody, but he should release real medical records. Unfortunately, we do not know exactly how bad it is or why Fetterman has that giant lump on the back of his neck, because he refuses to release his medical records. Dr. Oz, in fact, has, and it's now more obvious than ever that the Democratic candidate for the Senate in Pennsylvania is not, well, cognitively competent. Take a look, you decide.
We already knew that this is going to be a tight race.
How you're feeling and how you're doing?
I'm doing fantastic, and it's not about kicking balls in the authority or anything. The Eagles are so much better than the Eagles. The chair lays before the Senate the Auditor General's debt certification, which the clerk will read in part.
In accordance with the provisions of Article 8.
This will be noted, and the journal will be filed in the library. Being anti-union is anti-American. What is wrong with demanding for an easy, safe kind of their income?
Again, we really, truly, honestly, sincerely wish him a speedy recovery, but he does owe it to the people of Pennsylvania to release his real medical records. That should be fair game for any candidate. Now, his first and only sit-down interview since that stroke wasn't any better. It looked so bad that Fetterman's wife called for the NBC reporter conducting the interview to, quote, be punished. She was so mad because the NBC reporter told the truth, accurately stated that Fetterman seemed unable to make small talk or contribute to a normal conversation. Now, I'd normally play that, but we don't have time right now. This is really bad, but Fetterman's policies and beliefs are so much worse. Now, mark my words. He is a devout socialist. He is a hardcore Bernie Sanders fanboy. He wants to legalize hard drugs. He wants the taxpayers to fund safe injection sites in Pennsylvania for heroin addicts. He wants to raise taxes on small businesses. By the way, he didn't even pay his own taxes. He wants no limits at all on abortion, meaning you can have an abortion an hour before you're about to give birth. He also vowed to prosecute grocery store CEOs and CEOs of energy companies. Energy is an $80 billion industry in the state of Pennsylvania. At the same time, he wants to release violent criminals from prison. And this includes, by the way, first-degree murderers. For example, as Lieutenant Governor, Fetterman voted to release a gang member who admitted to killing a teenager for heroin money. He also voted to release a deranged murderer who hacked someone to death with garden shears, and another man who referred to himself as the son of the devil and frequently bragged about all the people he killed. Now, ultimately, at least 10 convicted first-degree murderers are now back out on the street thanks to John Fetterman, and we're just getting started. Fetterman once promised to empty the prison population by a full third in the state of Pennsylvania. He seems to idealize violent offenders, even proudly displaying gang memorabilia in his home. And during Fetterman's term as lieutenant governor, the murder rate in Pennsylvania's biggest city, Philadelphia, went up a whopping 40%. The murder rate has now reached an all-time high in 2020, and it's even higher in 2021. And while armed robbers went up by, 30%, general theft, that has gone up a whopping 50%. But now, in the midst of a close election, he's actually pretending that he wants murderers and other violent criminals behind bars. He also now is walking back on his promise to free all of them. That's right, all convicted second-degree murderers. Fetterman is once again lying. So mark my words, in Pennsylvania, if he gets elected, the country will be less safe and secure as a result. And it's not just his desire to empty prisons. He's also a lifelong opponent of the fossil fuel industry, especially fracking, an literally $80 billion industry for this state. That's what he said a few days ago.
I support fracking. I support the energy security that we should have in the United States.
Fracking. Yeah, fracking. No, I don't support fracking at all, and I never have. I don't support fracking. I think it's something that has to eventually go away.
So there's Fetterman on tape lying through his teeth, and there's nothing genuine that this trust fund brat in a hoodie, there's nothing genuine, sincere about the guy. He claims to be a man of the people, and then what? You're going to release violent criminals into the people's neighborhoods? You're going to pretend to be an ally of the African-American community and then vandalize their businesses or hold an innocent person at gunpoint? You purport to be a big tough guy, and then you whine and complain and cry whenever anyone says something that you don't like? John, take off the costume. Quit playing dress up. You're not tough. You're not a working man. You're a spoiled, lazy, self-absorbed, narcissist socialist, and you're totally unfit for office. That simple. Now, in sharp contrast, his opponent, the son of immigrants, a heart surgeon, an author, a businessman who is new to politics but not new to hard work. He has pro-growth, pro-energy, pro-law and order agenda, and it's grounded on sound principles. This is a critical election, and the choice could not be any more clear.